Oh boy, I really gotta watch this one before I start streaming. Yo, this shit is about to be so funny. Oh my god. Okay. Let's play it.
Ubisoft is dead, on the literal verge of
Oh
bankruptcy,
my
and
god.
Assassin's Creed Shadows in null.
Yo, that game was so fucking bad. Like I remember spending the money and playing it and being like, dude, I wasted 70 fucking dollars. This fucking sucks. And they didn't want to give me a refund. Like it was so bad. Like holy shit.
Small V is very directly responsible for this. Because you see, Ubisoft decided to put all of their eggs in this literal George Floyd basket of a disaster. It's woke.
Ubisoft decided to put it in this George flame of a basket.
It's lame,
I'm dead.
it's dull, it's stupid. No one likes it. Assassin's Creed Shadows is unironically, literally, a generational flop. Because this is probably the hardest flopping game
Yeah, they literally had to sell the company to Tencent.
that we have had in at least
Part of the company.
the last 2 decades. And it was one of the most expensive ones also. Most likely, roughly 600 to probably even 800 million worth.
I'm already giving a like. I love this guy.
Well,
Already
unless you believe Yves Guillemot, the CEO of Ubisoft, who said that Assassin's Creed Shadows costed only 100 million to make. I can't believe he actually unironically said that. There's lying, and then there's being that absolutely out of it.
They're gaslighting themselves.
Assassin's Creed Shadows did the second stupid thing also that's possible. They actually released an expansion, and that's what we're going to be looking at. And if you're wondering, is the expansion doing well? Well, my dear friends, I would invite you to look at this screen right here. I'm sharing it right now. Bam! This is the expansion. It came out literally a day ago. Yes, a day ago, which means that the expansion dropped somewhere here. Well, granted, the expansion roughly has increased Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed numbers by
I bet they didn't sell shit,
which is amazing. If we ignore.
Wait, 2 times? Someone bought it 2 times?
Well, granted, the expansion roughly has increased Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed numbers by 2 times, which is amazing. If we ignore the fact that literally barely 2K people play it, okay?
I'm surprised people still play that game. Like, that game was so fucking bad. So the game basically, it made you grind to level up your skill, but not grind in the way that a regular game does. You have to go to these shrines, and every 3 shrines, do all these long-ass missions, give you 1 point. And every 10 points of those equals 1 point. And then, for example, the first level is you got to do that whole thing 10 times. And then multiply that times 30 to the next level. I was like, yeah, fuck this.
So 2.5 times, which is better. The expansion.
That's why I put the game down.
This is the expansion right here. This is when it dropped. The 16th of September on a Tuesday yesterday of making this video. And before it was like 2K people, 3K people. On average, it was 2K and kind of even lower. It's really bad. You can't even see this on the graph.
Is this sad that more people play Dragon Age Velgar than this game?
Graph. Remember how much I make fun of Starfield for having that poor of a graph?
Yeah, it's worse than Starfield and Dragon Age Velgar. Like, that's fucking sad. Dragon Age Velgar legitimately got more players than Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Because this is literally sales. This means that literally almost no one bought the expansion for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Which makes sense because no one's playing the base game. But how bad do you really think things are? If Starfield had a better look.
You know what's another thing about that game? Shadows did this thing where, like, let's say you didn't want to open the key points, they use certain words that are misleading that will say that they unlock these pinpoints so you don't gotta like blind eye discover them. And then when you, if you're to buy that in the store, what it didn't really even unlock or pinpoint it or even unlock. Like they purposely misled you with how they worded it to make you waste money, and it literally unlocks like something stupid that had nothing to do with what the description said. Like, who the fuck puts microtransaction in a single player game? You know what the fuck does that? You can't play with your what's, I don't get the point. It's just to make money.
Looking graph when the expansion released. You know, when you press max on Starfield,
Not like it
you
has
at
a
least
leaderboard.
can tell that, you know, somewhere here there's an expansion release, okay? But you can't even tell where the expansion release is on this graph, which means effectively no one actually decided to play it, which is understandable. It's Assassin's Creed Shadows.
That was one of the worst games I played. I thought Dragon Age Velgar and Starfield was bad, but at least Starfield, you actually, I guess you could get explore and like shoot some shit even though there's nothing there. Cause who the fuck had the brilliant idea? Oh yeah, Todd Howard. Yeah, let's make a fucking realistic space game. Who, if you know anything about space, you know that most of space there's nothing. Like if you're to like land in a planet that you could walk in, most of the time you're gonna find nothing but rocks. I don't get why he got the grid. That kind of reminds me of that episode of Rick and Morty where Rick and Morty were playing a video game and Morty wanted to turn on the realistic mode, and Morty wanted to turn it on, and Rick told him not to. And then when they turn up the realistic mode in the video game, it was mostly just rocks. It was nothing. It was empty. Because that's what realistic meant in space. Because that's the reality. I don't know. Starfield was a bad game, but Shadows was worse. Somehow it managed to do even worse.
It's the most woke thing since wokeness itself popped up. It's absolutely disgusting. 4 out of
The other problem I have is they have like a black character, but you know, I thought it was going to like I didn't have hypes because UV slop is just bad, but I was like at least since they delayed the game, I was expecting them to make it like I don't know, like what's that fucking anime like Afro Samurai? Like that anime was so good. I thought they were going there since they delayed the game so many times, but no.
3 out of 4 or 2 out of 3
It was just weird and
relationships.
awkward. The sex scenes are so bad. Oh my god. It wasn't even sexy. It was just weird fucking kissing that looked like when Trump and Elon did that WWE thing.
Not literally forced gay because reasons, obviously. And I mean, you're literally a black guy in medieval Japan who Ubisoft is blatantly attempting to rewrite history because that's
Yeah,
what they
pretty
do.
much.
These bunch of clowns. And if a peasant doesn't bow,
There's nothing wrong with that, but like at least make it cool. Like shit, if you're gonna at least change history, at least make something cool. Don't stick, oh, we want to stick realistic when people fucking criticize it. No, it's not realistic because the original got sent back to their masters. If you want to get realistic, that's actually what happened in real life.
down to you, it's off with that head. Okay, great stuff. They decided to make a middle. Assassin's Creed Shadows was something that people were desperately begging for literally years, by the way. Assassin's Creed Shadows, Assassin's Creed Japan, was supposed to make billions. Since the dawn of Assassin's Creed, people have been literally drooling and begging for it to be made in Nippon. And Ubisoft did it. And instead
Assassin's Creed Row was literally better, but it was Shadow Drop when the Industrial Revolution one drop. I forgot what that one was called. That one's Shadow Drop, and that one's actually better in the main game. And they Shadow Dropped that one. A lot of people don't even know about Assassin's Creed Rogue. That was actually way better in this one. And it was way older.
They made barely thousands.
It was like in China.
It is insane. So let's check what's actually new in this expansion. Spoiler alert, no one cares. But I mean, let's laugh, right?
Claws of Awaji is
Why
the
not?
first DLC for Assassin's Creed Shadows, perhaps the only DLC.
By the way, they couldn't even name it something interesting. Claws of Hawaii. The hell?
And I got to play it early, so thanks to Ubisoft for sending me a code and allowing me to share my thoughts with you guys. A few bits of background info. First off, you have to complete the entire game, including the epilogue, kill all of the targets to even access this, so this is, you know, end game content. And also the team leading this piece of DLC is Ubisoft.
Of course, I don't expect nothing less from Ubisoft. It's not a DLC you could just fucking play. They're gonna make you play the whole fucking main story. That's fucking boring. Even actually, I knew. This is why when I heard that not a lot of people bought the DLC, but even when I heard a little bit that people bought a DLC, I said the people are just fucking straight up stupid. Because if you know anything about Ubisoft, they're gonna make you play the whole first campaign.
Bordeaux, who made Assassin's Creed Mirage, which had some really good parts.
Nobody cares.
Nobody, yeah.
Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Assassin's Creed Mirage, it was trying to recreate like the old Assassin's Creed, but I think around Origins they try to make it more of an RPG and less of an Assassin's Creed game. Like there's so much to do. I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to play Skyrim. Like I like RPGs, but if I'm gonna play a real RPG, I'm gonna go out and play a real RPG. I'm not just gonna fucking go Assassin's Creed Shadows RPG version. Like what the fuck is this gay shit?
Happened a billion years ago. All the people who made the good things from Ubisoft, Blizzard, BioWare, Bethesda, and many, many more companies, they're gone. They are gone. The only companies that are AAA and currently are not completely just breaking down and being shit, and I'm talking barely, are pretty much Paradox Interactive. You know, they make top-down things, Kingdom stuff and things like that.
Fucking Larian does have, they are working on something, because I'm really like stocky when it comes to Larian. Larian has a new RPG that they're developing. They said it was really ambitious, but then he say nothing else about it.
And the other one is, I already forgot the name. It's that not impactful, but one is Paradox and the other. I mean, fill in the blanks. Paradox. Oh, right. Street Fighter, Capcom, and those two companies are beyond greedy.
Capcom sucks. Capcom's almost every fucking port I've played by Capcom, they always cap everything, and they make you sign a fucking agreement that you're not allowed to mod the game. Like, fuck that. I don't like Capcom. And they kill Beautiful Joe, so yeah, I don't like Capcom. They kill a lot of their franchises. You know, I call them Campcom because they camp for a good franchise to come out so they could buy the IP and then they could slaughter it, so they camp franchise.
Literally gonna sell you 0.1 gold piece in a game for $20 if they can, and they will. And those are the pretty much strongest still remaining AAA developers that people don't instantly hate. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of hatred, but I mean, at least people kind of don't super hate them instantly.
Parts to it, in my opinion. Coming into this DLC, my expectations were that I'd see more Assassin Templar stuff, because it really felt like the main game siloed that for the very final, like, 5 hours with Yasuke. Maybe they would build upon that foundation that was laid at the end. And unfortunately,
I gotta say, Yasuke is the worst written character that I've seen in history. Like, Taj from Dragon Age Velgar, she was fucking annoying and irritating, and there's nothing interesting about her, but about this guy, he actually has nothing interesting. You barely know anything. Here's the story. He's the best samurai, even though he only trained for like, what, 6 months?
Fortunately, that's just not the case. Claws of Awaji is more...
It kind of reminds me of like what fucking Disney did with Ray. Wait, what was it? Ray Palpatine, right?
Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Palpatine's granddaughter.
Played the main game and enjoyed that, I think you'll enjoy the DLC. If you didn't, then I don't think you're going to enjoy this. The plot picks up after the epilogue, where you learn that Naoe's mother, Tsuyu, is alive, and she's a real...
Okay, cares?
assassin.
Nobody
She
cares
was
about the
part of
main
foundation
character.
of the
She's so
Brotherhood
boring.
in Japan. You team up with her to locate the final piece
Empowered Woman? Check, boys. Again, Ubisoft is ridiculously woke.
of the regalia, those 3 pieces that are supposed to preserve peace. And it's assumed that these are pieces of Eden, right? They're powerful objects that are sort of the MacGuffin of the Assassin's Creed franchise, but you never get to see them. There are multiple times where the sword is in the scene, but I'm like, open the freaking box. Let me see.
Wait. What does it say here? This sword, quest item. You cannot get more mouth breather than this, honestly, right?
You couldn't come up with a better name than that. I swear there's no way someone can tell me this game was not made by AI. The whole game screams AI generated.
Open the freaking box. Let me see that
Actually
really
looks
cool sword.
so bad too. For an Unreal Engine 5 game, this game looks like actual shit. I'm not gonna lie.
It doesn't happen. The big bad in this DLC is named Yukari, and she leads the Senzoku Ippa, which are the new temple.
Okay, so we have main character Vomit and now evil Vomit. Holy. Also, the hell is this? The hell is this?
Templar outfit. And
Oh,
so,
wait, that was her eyelids closed. That is disgusting. Let's look again.
which are the new Templar.
Ugh, what the fuck?
Outfit.
It's like
And
her
so-
underskin just closed. She's a lizard. Bro, she's a lizard.
It's sort of like
Oh, yeah, her eyelids look like... What the hell is
They
this?
look like a
Are we
fucking
talking
lizard.
about lizard people now?
yes, they
that's what I
serve the
was saying.
Templars underneath it all, but really they're just another faction from the game. They're another one of those objective board wheels that you remember from the main.
Wait. Did we just have a classical moment of bad guys have the good guys cornered, but they're like, I'm gonna leave you alive for no reason. That's gonna be fine, surely. Great. That's amazing story writing, said no one ever.
Part of
Why?
Shadows. Don't get me wrong, they do say the word Templar, and they do at times talk about how, the assassins are the ones.
Dude, those characters, most of them look the fucking same.
And they do at times talk about how
Like, at least give them a different face. It just looks like this just... I guess it's a uniform, but sheesh. No personality behind it with the most generic ass raw. If this person is supposed to be rich, wouldn't you think they'll use something more elegant? That fucking looks like one of those fucking black pimps from like those cheap black humor movies, but like black television. Like, why the fuck are these shoes that color? You look like fucking Leprechaun. Holy shit.
how, the assassins are the ones
With
who are
red?
delusional.
Who matches green and red? Oh god, that's horrible color matching. Who the fuck taught you how to dress? There's no way that's a woman, because a woman would never fucking match those two colors together. Like, what the fuck is this? We're going to a Christmas party?
The Templars really, in actuality, want peace, but it didn't capture me. It felt like a lesser version even of the
That's a woman? A woman would not match this colors unless they were going to a Christmas party. That's horrible color.
final
Why?
5 hours of the main game, where it really kicked into overdrive with how evil the Templars are. I didn't really feel that in this.
Are these animations... What the... Oh, Jesus Christ. What are we talking...
Look at
What
the
is
face.
going on?
Yo, the textures load so fucking bad. Look at the shadowing. Oh my god, even the crease. You can't even really see pores. They claim that it's so graphically good looking. Bro, I can't see shit. You can't even see her fucking eyelashes. They haven't even loaded yet. Her eyebrow is not even parallel to her other eyebrow. It's not the shading. Japanese were known for getting their eyebrows really on point. The face is not even parallel.
DLC. Let's take a
Look.
detour.
Oh my god, it's like she had a stroke. Look. This eye is way smaller than this one, and it's not the angle either. Because you're facing forward.
Animations... What the...
Oh god, that's
Jesus Christ.
horrible.
What are we talking...
He
What
had a
is going
stroke,
on?
bro.
DLC. Let's take a detour and talk about some positive stuff. And my positive things are very similar to the main game. I enjoy the gameplay of this DLC. The fact
That
that it is
no one
stealth
ever.
first, and the new weapon, the bow staff for Naue, is really fun.
Ain't it the boa staff? I mean, who cares?
It's got its own entire
That kind of should have been there in the beginning of the game. What the fuck you mean?
skill
Or the
tree,
new
which you can
passive,
invest
maybe.
mastery points into. You can knock people down.
Why the fuck in the expansion they put more skills into the one thing that everyone hates about the game, which is leveling up that stupid retarded fucking skill tree that takes forever.
And do a ground attack. You can hit them up high, which stuns them, or you can just do a neutral attack, which pushes them away. It's a really nice combination weapon. It feels versatile and very powerful. I had a good time with this throughout the DLC. And then there's
Okay, I'm imagining that's by the way true, because if you have played this game and you're
He's getting pay or have early access for this game because I don't know a single person on Earth that wasn't getting sponsored by the game that has said this game is good.
reviewing it because it's well, you're fucking forced.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Money.
Sucks to be you.
What a great motivator, ain't it, boys?
You cannot pay me enough to play this fucking game. This is how miserable I was playing this game. You can't. I wouldn't even take money to play this game. It was Starfield levels. At least Starfield so more and more people were playing it. This game was something else.
At least to get get fun of make English hard 10 out of 10. By the way,
Yeah, same. I struggle with certain words, especially while I'm reading. I'm horrible at English. Like Spanish is my first language.
like the video.
Can't even imagine for him. His first language is German.
That much I can say normally without English being
Wait,
horn.
actually, isn't German closer
Because
to English?
I can guarantee you, if you like the video, more people are gonna see this and now know how bad Assassin's Creed Shadows truly is, and a lot of people need it. So spread the good word, like the video, maybe even comment how much you hate this slop, because I will read it and I will smile.
There's the beauty of Assassin's Creed Shadows, which in any Assassin's Creed game, Ubisoft games in general, can't be disputed. These are very pretty, gorgeous games where if you slow down and look at the scenery and take it all in, it's nice. It's great. It's incredible what they've built here. For the most part, for me, though, the environment is not much different from what you encounter in the main game on the main island. Awaji is obviously surrounded by water, so there's more, beach, there's more ocean. There's also some interesting brambles towards the center of the island and kind of north. Unfortunately, you just don't spend very much time going through here, and for the most part, you're just riding through on horseback, so it doesn't have as much of an impact.
I mean, if they really wanted to go the safe route, just made a second part to Black Flag. Sheesh.
Impact as it might have otherwise. I've also really been enjoying the update that added 60 FPS cutscenes on PC, or unlocked frame rate. It makes them feel so much better.
You fucking dumbass. Yeah, surprisingly that they just added that. Well, the first thing I did when I got this game was unlock the FPS with modding. Because it's just fucking retarded.
And less disconnected from the rest of the experience. But man, the cutscenes, the facial animation, and the delivery of now.
We have already seen it. I mean, there's not a lot of trying here, okay?
Naue is still just.
Well, actually, maybe this is full 100% trying by woke idiots who are talentless. Probably that, actually.
Not good enough. I briefly
True.
tried the Japanese voice just to see if that would switch things up, but that was actually worse for me because in my head I already played the entire game in English voiceover, so switching that just didn't fix the issue for me. The faces in this DLC, they just feel plastic to me, and the lack of motion capture.
Plastic?
She looks like she having a
Is
stroke.
very noticeable, and it just takes you out of cutscenes that might have had some weight otherwise. Perhaps the biggest issue overall for me, though, is
See, her eyes are parallel compared to the other girl, but that other girl's face was fuck whoever designed
the
her.
structure of this DLC.
His
and you got
eyes are fucking parallel. That other girl's face was fucked to oblivion.
guessed it, it is just like Shadows, and it has one particular part that
I mean, why would it actually be different, though?
is really frustrating and honestly feels like a mistake, like they forgot something or left it out or didn't think it through. Once you get to Awaji and sort of
Because the whole story of the game feels like they had a bunch of different, they had like a bunch of different scripts of how they wanted to go about the game. And I don't know, some stupid fucking woke HR thing came along and they just duct tape all the stories together and combine into one fucking huge slot fest. That's what this main story felt in the base game.
Establish a base of operations. It's
Just
understood
duct
that you
tape
have to
all
take
stories
down
together.
Yukari's 3 Taishos. These are her capos, you know, the people sort of surrounding her and protecting her. Once you take out them, you can strike Yukari, get the regalia back, and you win. The first 2 are very normal affairs. It's just like the main game. You follow leads for these targets. The first one's the spy master. You're led down a rabbit hole, and then suddenly you find out who it is, and you take him out, and it's, you know, it's fine. It's pretty satisfying. And then you go after the ambusher. That one's a little more convoluted.
And at least that's kind of funny.
And
I absolutely love it in Assassin's Creed Shadows. You're just like, peasant. And it's like dead. It's so good. It's so funny. Peasant. Cha, boy. Oh man, that's so good.
that boss fight,
This game, they want to be Ghost of Tsushima so bad. They want to be Ghost of Tsushima so bad, but they can't fucking replicate that.
have to give big kudos to UB Bordeaux for actually constructing an interesting boss fight that I think is better than anything in the main game. It tripped me up. It was fun. It had me thinking on my feet. It reminded me of Metal Gear Solid
I'm not
Yo,
gonna lie.
that scene was pretty cool.
Delta, actually.
Also, this is a woman.
It was
That scene was pretty fucking badass. I'm not gonna lie.
100%.
really cool. And then you come to Tomeji, and Tomeji's thing is that he has a bunch of captains protecting him. And wouldn't you know it, the game says go and kill like 12 of these captains in order to take him down, because
Bro, it's just... What? It's just woman constable, bro!
he's too strong otherwise. Go and kill 12 targets that you really don't
Okay, this is like... This is like... We're transcending Vulkan, now it's violence towards
Transcending.
women? What the hell?
care about. I was already kind of prepared for that in this DLC, right? But the problem is the game only tells you one thing about how to locate them on Awaji, and that's to help citizens. These are the NPCs that
Side
will sometimes
quest.
be on
Base, that's how you
Course.
draw out the game, okay? Instead of assassinate one target, assassinate...
Hey, they trying to get them play hours because they know people put that game down so quick. They're like, what? Well, we got to get them to play the game somehow. We need to get them gameplay hours somehow.
12 targets. 10 hours of time well spent, my friends.
No,
the
that's a
sides
waste of
roads
time.
outside of towns who are kind of on their hands and knees and being assaulted by, you know, an enemy guard, right? These are the citizens they want you to find. How do you find them? Good luck. You're just going to have to figure that out on your own. You would think that the game would use the scouting system where it gives you some clues about where someone might need some help, but no, it doesn't.
Nah.
I was able
No,
to
'cause
find
they
several
want you to give
different
them
ways
hours
of
and gameplay
finding
hours.
citizens to locate these captains on the map. The first one is what we just talked about. The second one was running...
By the way, you're probably, as am I, wondering, wait a minute. You need to kill 12 captains to make the big guy killable. And the big guy, killing the big guy means you need to kill only 2 more to make the main big guy killable. But none of these defenders are even near the big guy. So how the fuck are they defending him? Don't know. Why ask even? Why honestly bother at this point?
into enemy camps and stirring up enough trouble until the game says captain has been alerted. Then the captain will come as a sort of boss, kind of like the guardian system in the main game. But that also doesn't necessarily work every time. I would run into camps, cause trouble, and then no captain would be alerted to my presence. The third way is that there are some unmarked side
that
missions
game was-
that you just have to walk
I see the game is still buggy as fuck still.
by and over here in order to know that they exist. The first one is in Sumoto, which is the first town that you arrive at in Awaji. You talk to this woman who's selling puppets and says, I'm missing a puppet. And then you can eventually find a vendor, buy that puppet, and bring it back to her, and she'll give you some intel. I'm sure there are some more unmarked quests like this, but I hope I'm painting a good picture of this, because there is a certain point that you will hit in this DLC where any sort of momentum narratively...
I love the fact that you're killing people who have armor that's almost
With a
impervious.
bow.
Well, it's pretty much impervious to blunt attacks from something as small as a boa staff, and you kill them. That's actually hilarious, okay? This thing should not be dealing any damage to them. This is Star Wars Outlaws Ubisoft all over again, by the way, with the fact that a woman is punching people left, right, and center who are wearing armor that's supposed to mitigate these blunt damages, but she's like, yeah, boy, I'm coming for you.
Yeah, and if you fucking know Star Wars lore, you would know how much bullshit, how the fuck are you gonna fucking take a stormtrooper and just kill them by just punching them? You do know their armor is made of pescal. A lot of, like, especially like the high-ranking troopers, they have pescal, which is like that metal that basically the Mandalorians use for their armor. Well, it's a light coating, but still, the pescar tends to like heat up, but it doesn't really penetrate. You really got to go at it a lot in order to actually do it. The only way is, like, I guess if you got a lightsaber and there's like a small opening, you just like lightsaber them through there. But I don't know. Disney might have changed the lore of that too, because Disney likes to change everything.
And one shot kapow. Man, Ubisoft never changes, does it?
Grinds to an absolute halt because this game doesn't tell you where to go to find these captains. You're relying on the randomness of finding these citizens who need your help. By the way, sometimes citizens are...
Well, again, that's how they get 10 hours. That's how they make the game 10 hours.
You know, that Star Wars thing kind of bothers me, because like if you're to make a staff made out of pescal, like that metal that Mandalorians use for their weapons, it's the main reason in the Old Republic when the Jedis were against the war against the Mandalorians, it was one of the reasons why it was so hard, because even when they have swinging weapons, their weapons, like a bow made of that metal will heat up, but the blade won't go through it. Like, and that's when they had the prototype lightsabers. Even then, like, even the new ones, like, it's hard to really penetrate that. But that part of Star Wars Outlaw fucking, it triggers me so much from like a hardcore Star Wars fan. It makes no sense whatsoever. Like, holy shit. How much lore does Disney fucking slaughter? It just doesn't make sense. Like, well, I guess the troopers weren't as trained as the Mandalorian, but that's a whole different topic. But yeah, the other thing why Mandalorians and Jedis, yeah, because Mandalorians, their whole culture was war. And they specifically knew how to defeat a Jedi, especially the era during the Old Republic.
Making it extremely tedious and slop.
Or being harassed, I did help, and then they would just scream and run away. This became very simple.
Well, of course they do. You literally killed someone like it was nothing. Like, I'm running away from that also. I'm not saying, hey,
Can't stop thinking about Disney now.
I'm fucking booking it, okay? It's understandable. I'm not even keeping it against them.
Similar to the fresh.
This is what happens when you have the most autistic story you can. Nothing makes sense, duh.
Frustration I felt towards the back end of the main game, where you are hunting down these targets on the target board, and
at
you're
least
using
that
the
armor is
scout
less strong,
system, which is just dreadful. Every time you're trying to find something, you have to open the map and use this scanning little mini game to find what you're looking for. Eventually, I did kill, I want to say, 8 of the captains before Tomeji was finally alone.
He sounds, so you could hear how miserable he sounds. He probably regrets getting paid for playing this. You could hear how miserable his voice sounds, having to explain, remember what he went through to finish it.
He was alone, so I was able to progress the main story.
Oh,
this
God.
brings me to another
He's
issue
brave.
that I have with this DLC. I will say that the game does warn you, but I still don't think it makes sense that they did this. The boss fight here...
I'm actually listening to the dialogue here, and it's atrocious, by the way. I don't know if you can
Yeah, they got the worst voice acting.
Really bad.
Yeah, I know. I've been
tuned
hearing
for
it.
Yasuke. Even the NPC beforehand says, this guy's an expert against Shinobi. But they know that you're going to play as Naue. Naue has the bow staff. There's a reason.
By the way, They changed a lot about the slop game.
They even
before
changed the
release.
history.
They tried to cut Yasuke out as much as possible because he doesn't exist. Well, he exists in history, but he was a slave. Okay, that's it. You're glorified. Well, I mean that technically makes
Oh,
sense.
it's a
that they
China
would do
thing.
that, but hey.
Okay,
No,
I
okay.
guess.
I have not seen, by the way, a single review or anything that says, oh yeah, I'm playing as the giant black dude in Japan. I love it. I have not even heard anyone do that, okay? It just doesn't happen. It's dude.
Just ask yourself why no one else has a bow. Every other Sawyer, none of them have a bow. Just ask yourself that for a second. Look it up. Google it. We're not even the right country for that.
Stop, Ubisoft. Well, you're gonna stop because you're out of money now.
And Noway is played.
How does that 12 billion in debt feel, huh? Does it feel good? I hope it feels good because you literally did that yourself. You decided that this is a good idea.
More by players. She's more interesting. Tomeji is just a bad boss fight. There's no other way to say it. He's tuned ridiculously on normal difficulty. He two-shots you with unblockable combos. And also this area of effect Kanabo attack that just blows, man. I ended up turning down the difficulty, and I never do that in games. So I died enough times to this boss fight where I was like, no, I'm done. I'm good. I think it was built up frustration after the captain's nonsense. I'm not allowed to show you the final boss fight, but same thing there,
That's
guys.
bad.
Really overtuned.
That's bad,
And I
basically.
understand that this is endgame DLC.
He's not allowed to show you the final boss fight because it's worse. It gets worse.
They want you to min-max your RPG build in order to defeat the enemy, but I'm
Yeah, but Assassin's Creed is not supposed to be an RPG. It's supposed to be a rogue stealth game. It's an action rogue game.
finding that one-shot hits where I have full health is not the kind of experience I expect from Assassin's Creed. But I just jumped ahead. Let's go back for a second. For the
Well, I mean, that's what I would expect from movie slop. That's a thing, though.
final target, you go back to chasing down leads and talking to NPCs and preparing for the final fight in a very normal sort of
Just keep in mind, Batman Arkham Knight, it's way older in this game, and it's way better of a stealth game than this. Just keep that in mind.
way. And it just struck me how strange that weird stop point in the middle of this DLC was with the captains. Which, by the way, I was having so much trouble that I had to ask a fellow creator reviewing this game, this DLC as well, like, how do you find the captains? How did you get around this? He said that he talked to other creators and they had the same problem. So yeah, I just find this a symptom of the design flaw in the main game, which has been around for years with these larger RPG creeds, which is the Where's Waldo? Hunting down targets you don't care about with names, with tiny little blurbs in the description that have nothing to do with anything. I think the most cynical viewpoint you could have for this choice is that it pads the runtime. There's more game because of this.
Are you kidding me? Of course it pads the runtime. I can guarantee you. This was made to pad the runtime. No question, no nothing. Made to pad the runtime. It is what it is.
Especially considering that they decided to drop the fucking game right around the time that people are still playing Silksong. And who the fuck, like, people weren't gonna play it before. You should reduce your chances even more now.
Simple. Do you honestly think they don't know what they're doing? Do you really think that they don't know that they're padding the runtime? Do you not think that they're doing this intentionally? Of course they are.
Yeah, they are. They want to get more
like
play
when
hours.
You're in a bad situation like Ubisoft. I mean, what else are you supposed to do?
It's because of this.
Also, boys, tell me in the comments right now, is this better or is wait? Let it adjust. Let it adjust. Or is this better?
Yeah, the light is better.
Yeah, which one is better? I mean, I can't tell. I'm blind. I guess this one's kind of neat.
Random chicken with your head cut off hunt.
I like the light, but I guess the light off matches
the only
the dualness
real marketing
of the coloring in the game.
Claws of Awaji always make sure to say that it's 10 plus.
By the way, so Stills are going to make you believe that Assassin's Creed Shadows is outselling Odyssey plus the other big Assassin's Creed. That it's on its way to sell 100 million copies if you actually do the math by their standards by the end of the year. I'm not kidding, by the way. If you believe what Ubisoft and the shills are lying, that this is Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Valhalla, and it's better than them, that it's like 3 times better than them or something,
No.
then if you do the math for how much those games sold, then Assassin's Creed Shadows should be hitting 100 million copies sold in 2.5 months. Does anyone believe that? Obviously not. So if Assassin's Creed is doing so well, why aren't they promoting this? Because I mean, DLCs are free money almost, okay? Unless you don't sell any copies for the DLCs. Strange, is it not? Okay.
Well, I mean, here's how I look at it. If the base game is trash, what makes you think that people are going to come back to get the DLC to see if the game is going to get better? DLC is more like padded content, like things that you should sprinkle on top. If you can't drag in the player by the base game, don't expect the player to come back and actually pay for the DLC. the base game, if the base game, like the thing I explained earlier, how like they make you basically do like that really tedious whole grinding to level up your, if you can't get the gamer to do that, because obviously you're fucking retarded, whoever designed that system, what makes you think they're gonna buy into the fucking DLC? Remember when DLCs used to be free and they're actually good? Yeah, exactly.
Okay, now it's definitely.
I don't expect them to always be free, but at least if they're gonna charge you for a DLC, the least you could do is make the base game actually good. Why am I even gonna bother if the base game sucks?
Too.
System, the whole game is trash.
Actually, go that far down. Holy, this is piss. I did not know my lamp can do that. I have only had the lamp for 3 years at this point. Don't at me, bro.
Hours of content. I think if they did not have this section, it would probably be 8+ hours of content. It takes a solid 2 hours to do this part, and it's not a fun 2 hours. It really degrades the whole thing and exhausts you. The more forgiving read on this decision is that it just follows the same game design principles as the main game, which then you could probably say, okay, they did that as well because it pads the runtime. I feel like I'm being too negative, so I want to highlight a few things.
That's because there's nothing good to say about the game.
As I played this DLC, there's a few missions that allow you to put on a disguise and blend in. There's one non-combat mission
that you're blending in so well.
Found particularly interesting, where you have to walk around and gather some clues to find one of your targets.
Well, the clothes at least, not the mask. I see someone. Oh wait, another guy's wearing the mask. I'll shut up.
I want. That's cool. There were also a surprising amount of tailing missions, which I know some of you are going to listen to that and roll your eyes until they fall out of the back of your head. I love that stuff. It makes me feel like an assassin. There were a couple of those in this DLC. When I saw them, I was like, yes, please, and thank you. I also enjoyed the little parkour routes that they created. There's 2 of them that I remember where they lead you through an interesting environment.
Okay, this seems fun in real life, not in...
Yeah, but like that should have been in every part of the game, because isn't that what Assassin's Creed is known for? I'm like, the parkour is so fucking lame in this game. It's so clunky.
The game.
At the very end, you do a sumie, which it's not my...
And yes, I came multiple times close to death as a child, if you're wondering.
My favorite thing in the main game either, but in this game at least, you don't have to like stalk an animal. It's just a landscape. So now he stops and draws a landscape of an environment, and there's some cool spots. Briefly, during the Spy Master part of this narrative, there's a really cool mechanic where if you use your scouts to scan the map, that same area will be on high alert and random people will start attacking you if you run through the area. That is cool stuff. But
that seems stupid.
The game removes that mechanic immediately once you defeat the Spy Master, which like narratively makes sense, but that's the first one that they recommend you do, so you're getting rid of this cool new mechanic immediately. And I just didn't understand the thought process behind
Keep in mind, this guy got paid to review the DLC. He's getting paid to talk good about it, and he found it so hard to actually say good things and tell him and even said out loud, I feel like I'm being too negative about this, that he couldn't hold himself back from talking straight up shit of how bad the expansion is. Just keep that in mind.
Another little update thing I
A person who's getting paid to do this couldn't do it. That's how bad this game is and how worse the DLC is.
enjoyed, not related to the DLC, is that they allow you to keep Naoe's hood on during some of the cutscenes, but it's kind of weird that it's not all of them. Like, some of them are required story, maybe motion captured scenes where they don't let you do that. And the fact that they do in some scenes and not in others is kind of jarring. I rolled the credits on Claws of Awaji and kind of took a deep breath and calmed down. And then I went back
That's such a lame name for an expansion.
to your main base of operations in Awaji, found an NPC who once again gave me other objectives to take down more faceless, nameless targets. You could
Based and real, okay? If you spend money on this, that's what you deserve. Okay? Let's be real for a second. That's exactly what you get and what you should get and what you deserve.
That's why you're the server buying it.
Anyway, that was Joey, 10 out of 10. Don't buy Assassin's Creed Shadows.
I love this guy. He's so fucking base.
Oh boy, so this is a big one.
Oh boy, that was a fun video to watch. Fuck is this? Not like Alien. What's this? What's that guy I watched? That angry dad guy. Where's the angry dad? There's this guy I watched and he's like an angry dad. What's his name? That angry dad dude? I found out about him when he was like talking shit about like the... Yeah, it's not Alex. This guy. Oh man, I already watched his latest video. Wait, I haven't watched this one. This game is doing so bad.
There it is. No, there it is. Do I have your attention now? Can people finally understand why I completely
Wait,
hate
do we have the same
Unreal
microphone?
Engine 5? Look, finally, we have a pure, direct example of what I've been talking about for so long.
Oh, but he has
from
to
so many
he has
people.
the XLR
I
version.
got a 5090 and a 9800X 3D. Game runs fine for me. When I add frame generation and then downscale the resolution to 1080p and then play it at 100.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be adding fucking downscale resolution for... Considering you got a 5090, you shouldn't have to use the AI technologies.
44 FPS on a $2,000 GPU. None of that makes any sense whatsoever. Nobody should be happy at the performance of Borderlands 4, and the fact that Borderlands 4 is in fact a top-selling.
Let me tell you this much. I have an i7 13700K overclocked to 5.4 gigahertz, 32 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of swap. Everything overclock. I have an RTX 5090, not the regular version. I got the gigabyte overclock. Well, overclock doesn't matter because you can overclock it anyway. But anyway, the 32 gigabytes of VRAM version. The game was running so ass. It was so bad. I dropped the resolution to 1920 by 1080. And the game was still struggling to keep 60 frames per second. That's all I'm gonna say about the performance. Actually, but there's the fucking constant crashing. Oh my god, dude. Don't even get me started.
game on Steam should be a nightmare, a travesty, an entire issue across the board for PC gaming. Remember how like a few months back, Randy Pitchford made the exact stupid conversation
Yeah, that guy
point
needs to
about
shut up.
Borderlands 4 costing $80 and he said this?
Yo, this guy, he needs to fucking shut up. Yo, I literally saw that when I was making my video. This guy doesn't know when to shut up. And I went to Twitter to roast him, and I roasted him on a few things, but at a point I was like, I don't even want to fucking, I don't want to seem like I'm kind of bullying this guy, because if you go to his Twitter, he spends all day on Twitter roasting the haters, and it's such loser behavior. I'm like, it's so sad. This guy's a loser. He knows the truth, but he keeps gaslighting himself and lying to himself as good. He knows that it's a shit. He lies to himself to make himself feel better. It's so fucking sad to watch.
A, not my call. B, if you're a real fan, you'll find a way to make it happen.
I remember
My
when he
local
said
game store
that.
had Starlight for Sega Genesis for $80 in 1991.
Yeah, because fucking $80 game basically means, oh, this game is shit. We're gonna have to fucking make our money back somehow. So here, pay for $80 for the people that are not gonna buy into the game or get a refund. That's what that translates to.
When I was just out of high school, working minimum wage at an ice cream parlor in Pismo Beach, and I found a way to make it happen. Well, Randy, it turns out you definitely didn't make it happen when making this game, because clearly everybody is having a massive issue with the performance and of course charging $70. We've talked about how in the gaming industry, so many other games coming out, even using Unreal Engine 5, may have some issues here and there, but nothing like we've seen on Borderlands 4, which you're going to show.
I mean, yeah, Unreal Engine 5. Well, it depends, because I don't know how hard into games he is. See, I actually went into like the Metal Gear 3 remake, and I unlocked the FPS, and I tested it in that game. Actually, yeah, he's right. This game is worse, because when I unlocked the FPS for that game at least got to a 90 frames. But somehow the DOS as in that game did not make a difference. Like at Metal Gear 3, you enable DOS, you're still gonna get 90 frames. That's kind of sad, to be honest. But this game struggles with 60.
Show later on in the video too. But the thing is, those games weren't costing $70 or maybe even $80 at some point. Those games weren't costing.
Yeah, and we could see what you could see now that $80 bullshit. That going back to what I said earlier, that $80 bullshit was to make their money back for the people that weren't going to buy it or they were going to return the game. That's what I was saying earlier. That's the whole intent behind the whole $80 games. Because they know the game is not going to sell well anyways. Like, if you're going to have a game that bash, just slap that bitch in fucking Game Pass. Make some money like that. Look at Carnage, what he said. Carnage said that he used to like, he didn't directly make the fucking the contracts, but he knew someone who did, and every time he'll ask developers or studios what they like and dislike about the contract, and they say that what they dislike is if you make a game that's actually really successful, it's really bad to put your game on Game Pass because you're not gonna make as much money as you should have, and you're basically getting ripped off. But if you have a bad game who's not gonna do really good, then yeah, it is a good game. I mean, a good deal.
All this money. Those games didn't have season passes and everything else. I have to understand one thing and one thing only for the regular consumer. When is enough going to be enough? Because right now you are getting charged more money for inferior products. They're asking you to pay higher prices for a product that works worse than what it used to work at 5 years ago, 8 years ago, and in an industry where right now the games are starting to look exactly the same.
Because they want to hop in. Okay, so like the whole tier with Unreal Engine 5 allegedly is that you gotta optimize the game last plus with the DOS and things. But I blame NVIDIA at the same time with the AI technologies for the reason that game studios tend to like not optimize their game as much because they're relying on the technologies to do the work for them. But it doesn't work like that. You still at some level have to optimize your fucking games. You can't just like slap that bitch in and just expect it to run. No, You gotta go through a lot of optimizations for different setups and different parts. Like it's, oh my god, this whole thing is such a fucking mess. Like, dude, are you fucking serious? Like the Unreal Engine 5, it's not like people are like, oh yeah, well we're not gonna use Unreal Engine 4. And the optimization wasn't that bad on Unreal Engine 4. So yeah, let's just make let's epic. Let's just make another engine that's more powerful and more demanding and better looking and not optimize it and let the GPU do all the fucking work of the AI correction. No, that's not how it works. What, you thought that making an using engines that's more powerful and more graphically demanding and better looking was actually gonna make you like not optimize it? No, you gotta even optimize it even more.
Because they're all using the same engine to cut costs.
If the game's put an option to get rid of nanite light and all that fucking extra shit and the ray tracing and be able to disable it, at least that's something you could work with. But no, it's not even an option. They shove it. They shove the fucking ray tracing and the fucking nanite light cocked down your throat and expect you to fucking take it. Like, no, that's why there's so much complaint. There's so many things I could see on Unreal Engine 5. It's not the engine itself, it's the studios.
The first place. So why are they raising the prices? When I was actually testing the game for this video, I got a literal crash when exiting the game. Simply closing the game caused the game to crash. How does that happen at all?
How does that even make
if you want
sense?
to talk about crashes, I hope you're not an NVIDIA GPU user. According to Borderlands for Bulletin, it turns out that breaking the new NVIDIA driver 581.29, which was supposed to help.
So the new NVIDIA driver 581.29, which, oh wow, so I guess Linux is up to date with the NVIDIA drivers because I have those exact drivers. They probably have a later version of that one, which has supposed to help improve Borderlands 4 performance for NVIDIA cards. It's reportedly creating more issues and crashes. We'll be testing out myself and sharing more details soon in this thread.
Improve Borderlands 4's performance for NVIDIA cards is reportedly creating more issues and crashes. We'll be testing out myself and sharing more details soon in this thread. So the
I'll say one thing that, well, lately Linux has been performing, but that's because NVIDIA has been prioritizing Linux lately. I know, wow, shocker, right? But I'll say one thing. When it comes to de novo DRM, it runs smoothly Linux. The only issue is that if you switch your translation later, you know, wine is not a translator, to actually translate your Windows case into, you know, so they can run on Linux, you can't change your translation layer constantly or you get like a 24-hour ban from the game. That's about it. But de novo DRM actually works pretty well under Linux.
GPU manufacturer that everybody says their drivers work all the time, every time.
It works better than it does on Windows. On Windows, I heard it's a fucking shit show on Windows. That's part of the reason why the games are actually performing better on Linux. Well, yeah, Linux has a lot of optimizations lately, and they've improved over the years. But on top of that, is all the Windows bloat.
Has all new drivers to improve the performance of the game, and they break the game.
It's an overhead.
$70. They were going to charge $70. No, I'm sorry. They were going to charge $80 and then knocked it down to $70 after getting the backlash, and people celebrate $70. This is a massive problem right now. AAA games are not worth the $70 they're printed on. All these game companies are cutting costs in every single direction to use engines like Unreal Engine 5 to cut more costs and then bring in more profits. To add to insult to injury, then they
because they want to flex that they're using a more expensive engine so they can bump up the price. That's the whole excuse. The whole excuse is you invest. Oh, so if we invest twice as much money as we did in the previous game, we're gonna get twice as much profit back. That's basically the mindset, and it doesn't work like that. Not if the product is not good quality or high quality at all. That makes players even want to play the game or even buy it. If it performs bad, and you claim that you need this spec to play that game, but the game can't even meet specs with even more like newer GPUs. What the fuck is Gearbox fucking doing, bro?
back on the season pass, the microtransactions, and all the other bullshit on top of that. And if the
What the fuck do you need a season pass on a single fucking player game? Like, yeah, you can play with people, but I've never seen a use of season passes in a Borderlands game. I've always seen that idea so fucking adjacent.
Performance was
Imagine if Skyrim had a season pass. Yeah, think about that. Let that sink.
wasn't bad enough. If the price wasn't bad enough, it turns out that Take-Two also has some massive issues with the EULA in Borderlands games. It got so bad that Steam users were in fact review bombing the Borderlands games because of the changes to the EULA. When I played the game and I had to boot it up to do it in
Okay, Steam users are reviewing bombing Borderlands game following Take-Two new users agreement. I don't feel comfortable with the terms of it. Let me guess. No modding?
the first place, the
Fans are dubbing the action RPG spy. Well, there it is.
amount of legalese that was in front of me before I even played the fucking game in the first place
Lucky for me, I borrowed it for a crackhead. You know what I mean?
was astounding. There wasn't just one, there were two of them I had to go ahead and click continue to even play the game in the fucking first place. Because if you don't agree, then
It could kiss the ring I have where the sun don't shine.
you can't play. So I already gave you the money. Now I have to agree to all your spaghetti language of legalese in the first place to play the fucking game in the first place. How is this? How is any of that legal? How
We need, what was that lawyer, with that YouTube lawyer? What's his name? Legal Mindset. We need to get Legal Mindset up in that bitch.
is it even right? Imagine buying a product and then being told, hey, if you don't agree with everything we say in this thing right here that isn't even real in the first place, we're not going to give you
Yeah, they
access
make
to
you
the
feel like you
product
gotta talk to a
already paid
lawyer
for, even though you already
before
paid
you
for
sign.
it, or we
Agree.
took all your fucking money in the first place. And if you really want to see how bad things have gotten, 'cause you don't-
that term and service, they should give it to you before you actually buy the game. But they won't, because then you won't buy the game. That's sketchy right there. Think about that.
it's going to get real bad later on. It turns out that review sites were only given codes for the PC version. So they were knowingly expecting people to have better PCs because clearly the only way to PC game is if you buy a 50 fucking 90 at $2,000 for a
Yeah, but isn't even, I remember him saying something on Twitter that, oh, well, there's no way that we could actually test this on different hardware. What the fuck do you pay those people, the beta testers, for then?
GPU to go through and brute force their way past all the performance issues and then not have a single problem because clearly reviewers don't do the actual bare minimum of turning on a goddamn frame rate counter because even in Metacritic, the game is in the 80s. The 80s! The game
That's because everyone, a lot of people expect that using AI technologies. Oh, sorry, I had to burp. I'm at Jason. People think that using AI technologies and if the game runs well with AI technologies, that's considered that the game is actually well optimized. No, the way that you know if the game is well optimized, you use it without the just raw GPU usage, and that's how you know whether the game is optimized or not. The DOS technology usually the DOS and like frame generation, that the whole reason that was actually meant to be used was for people that are running hardwares that have bottlenecks. That was the main reason that frame gen, well, according to NVIDIA, apparently frame gen DOS upscaling was meant for people that, people that have bottlenecks in their setups. Or the other thing that NVIDIA actually ended up saying was for, what was it? Fuck, I had it on the top of my tongue. Oh yeah, for games like 4K games or resolutions that are way beyond us to actually be able to be playable at that resolution.
barely runs. It barely functions. And reviewers are giving it an 80. No one's counting about the performance issues. No one's saying
This is why every time before I'm gonna buy a game, I go into the most mainstream review website like IGN. And if I see IGN or one of these big fucking corpo gaming review pages and they give them a high score, that's when I decide I'm not gonna buy it. Because if I see a high score like that from one of those corporate shows companies, I know the game is gonna be ass. I need that score to be so fucking low that it looks mediocre. Once that score is really low, that's how I know that game is about to be bomb. Because they've done that to so many good games. Because they hate her, especially games over the seas, studios overseas.
anything about those problems. But hey, it's in the 80s. And Steam users, in fact, aren't having it. According to Hazardor Gaming, Borderlands 4 has surpassed 163,000 concurrent players on Steam.
You know, for an IP with such a strong fan base and a big fan base, that's kind of low, considering how big they are. I expect higher numbers than that.
For comparison,
But hey, look at the bright side. It has more playtime and more buys than Assassin's Creed Shadows somehow. I mean, it's not as bad as Assassin's Creed Shadows. There's that. I mean, the performance is worse than Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Borderlands 3 had an all-time peak of 93,000. Currently on Steam, reviews are mixed with terrible UE5 optimization.
Also, they're lying about the numbers.
By Hazardor saying this a few hours later. Now, most
actually, it did it. It's doing worse than Assassin's Creed Shadows. Actually, oh wow, that I did not see that coming.
Negative, and at the time of this recording, it has gone back to mixed because more people are in fact reviewing the game. The problem is though the majority of the actual issues inside of those reviews are concerning the optimization of this game. Unreal Engine 5 is a blister on the ass of video games that has yet to be popped for some insane reason. But over and over again, we are seeing devs become more incompetent, more lazy, and relying on things like UE5 in order to make the job go faster, thereby giving you a worse experience overall. I mean, look at some of these reviews right here.
Yeah, but Unreal Engine 5, I've noticed that almost everyone that uses that fucking engine expected the game to optimize itself. It's such a fucking retard concept. Like, why? Why?
On the Steam store page. None of my friends can get the game to start past the main menu. When you quit and restart, it doesn't close the original instance, and it still uses full memory. It doesn't matter how good the game is, AAA devs deserve.
Yeah, this is one of those games that if it tries to fully utilize both the GPU and the CPU, like it has both uses of both. Like it's not one of those games where it's more like GPU intensive or CPU. Like it uses both, which can cause a lot of problems when not optimized. Yeah, they're gonna have to go into the task manager and close it from there.
Low reviews.
I would say these people do not know how to use a computer because you could force a game to fucking close by going to the task manager. I'm not on Windows, but usually on Windows, you're gonna look up task manager right here. For me, I got system monitor, and you go to processes and whatever you're trying to close, click on it and you just close it. It's the same concept.
On their games until they learn to release working
if you like the command line, just use kill and whatever the process name is.
Titles. Indie devs release working games, but multi-million-dollar companies can't? Pathetic. Don't worry though, it turns out the developers actually responded to this comment and many more. Watch this.
I know his name is Randy Pitchfork, but I call him Randy Pitchfork because there's a lot of forks going after him. That wasn't. It was funny. It sounded funnier in my head.
2K Links responded to that review.
Oh wait, it wasn't Randy. So Links, we're sorry to hear you're having troubles launching the game. We want to help you solve this so you can jump into Borderlands 4. See, I've been practicing reading in English. See, I'm getting better. To help us investigate, you could please submit a support ticket with a few more details. You can open a ticket here at supportborderlands.com. Please describe what happens when you try to launch the game and list any troubleshooting stuff you already tried. Also, if you could share your PC spec with us, if you have any, feel free to share any video, clips, screenshots, and that you're experiencing. So basically the auto reply thing.
Review saying this: we're sorry to hear you're having trouble launching the game. We want to help you solve this so you can jump into Borderlands 4. To help us investigate, could you please submit a support ticket with a few more details? You can open a ticket here. No, that shit should have been solved before the game came out. I don't know why developers even responding to these kinds of reviews. All they should be doing is closing their mouths, typing less responses, and going back and fixing the game. In fact, here's another review with another dev response. Terrible, terrible performance. Worst I've ever seen. Turned it down to low graphics presets and couldn't hit 60 FPS.
Wait. So he has an RX 90 69. I'm gonna look that up because I'm not familiar with. I know, ironic. I'm on Linux. I don't know what the equivalent to NVIDIA that is. Okay, RX 69000 XT NVIDIA equivalent. Let's see what fucking Leo says. 3080 Ti, isn't that a pretty good? So that's the 1080 Ti equivalent. How much VRAM does it have? So that's the equivalent to that card. So it has 12. Yeah, that's decent for most games. Yeah, like that's fucking decent.
Even with FSR upscaling on my RX 6900
That's like
XT.
mid-tier.
BL Claptrap replied to this actual review saying this: "We know PC optimization can be a bit tricky, so we'd like to help you if you're experiencing game-breaking."
But he said his CPU though. The CPU has a lot to do with it too. Let me see. What CPU he has? He didn't say what CPU. Could be bottom. But it doesn't matter because that shit performs even bad. And I have like a high-end tier fucking
BL
build.
Claptrap replied to this actual review saying this: "We know PC optimization can be a bit tricky, so we'd like to help you. If you're experiencing game-breaking problems, take a look at our troubleshooting guide on Steam." No! You and the horse you rode in on. What are you talking about? PC optimization could be a bit tricky. What is this? What kind of clown and pony show are we running here? How is this even possible for actual people hired by Take-Two to make these responses as developers listed on Steam to then go around and do these kinds of things? And that's the real problem that I've been talking about. When we see developers go around and make indie games with teams of just a few people completely outshine, outdestroy, and outmaneuver every single major AAA publisher right now, it begs the question, what in the f is happening in the gaming industry?
Yeah, and then those same people get mad when the indie game actually sells more than them, that they try to nitpick or say any shit, just throw shade at them. It's so sad. You're a AAA studio. The indie games should not be a competition against you. They shouldn't be a threat.
Why are so many development studios that pump hundreds of millions of dollars into their game design, into their development teams, coming out with broken, buggy products that don't work and are charging us more money? This is why I applaud and I celebrate indie development right now, because games like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, games like Silksong, so many other games that run incredibly well are made by such smaller teams with incredibly smaller budgets.
Well, Silksong is a different story because Silksong is making Unity. Now, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I don't know. That might be Unreal Engine 5 or 4, one of them too.
Have way better gameplay, way better experiences, and many times way better visuals and graphics, and
or House Engine
on so many other types
I don't
of
know.
hardware.
I think it's Unreal Engine 5 because it looks good.
You less money
really
for
good.
that game. Why is it that these studios can do this, but AAA gaming cannot? What is the big deciding factor? I mean, shit. Look at the actual gameplay footage that I captured. This is on high settings, no FSR upscaling, no frame.
That game looks so bad. Like, it looks like Beautiful Joe. It looks like a fucking GameCube game. It looks like the fucking 2D comic book style video games in the PS2 and GameCube era.
Generation.
It's just at 1080.
And on a 7900 XT, I'm getting 60 FPS at some points, and at other times below 60 FPS. I mean, this is...
Yeah, 7,000. That's like a 16 gigabytes of RAM, right? Allocated memory. Yeah, and right here, allocated. So it's using almost 12. So that guy that was wearing it was using a 1080 Ti. He still has some headroom.
This is honestly...
Jeez, look at that. Oh my god.
Absurd. When you look at the CPU usage, every single core thread that I have is sitting at like the 60% usage. Why is every core in...
Thank you for the follow.
...thread at 60% or higher? This is absurd. GPU usage is at 97%. I'm getting all kinds of dips and stutters that are micro stutters inside of Intel PresentMon. This is not a good experience overall, it doesn't help at all. Thankfully, though, I don't have a CPU bottleneck, but I guarantee you if you're having any kind of stutters, it's mostly due to the CPU itself. None of this makes any sense. I shouldn't have.
You know, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't even run well on console. On the fucking platform that it was meant to be played on. It doesn't even play well on that. Now think about that. It's fucking horseshit right there.
Have to rely on FSR or DLSS or frame generation or upscaling in order to get a clear image picture at a baseline of 60.
Yo, I wonder if they released this on Switch too. Yo, you imagine how much. Oh, they must have the worst time of their life. Doesn't run on more powerful consoles. Imagine that. Oh my god.
60 FPS at native resolution. That should be the standard. 1440p, 60 FPS. High settings should be the baseline. If you're not hitting that, then I don't know what the is going on with your game. It is out of control. Upscaling should be for older gen hardware to have the ability to last longer, not for new generation hardware to go ahead and charge you more money for less performance unless you use the AI upscaling. That doesn't make any sense. So what are you paying for? The upscaling, not the GPU. Hell, if you even want to laugh even harder, here are the settings at very high native resolution. 40 FPS, sometimes 39 FPS. On a 7900 XT, this is not like a 1050.
Dude, this kind of reminds me of the really early days of PC gaming when you had like World of Warcraft was fucking new and you're hitting like 24 or 30 FPS.
It's on a 1060. It is a good GPU in today's day and age. I'd say upper mid range, not like super high, but just right below all the craziness that we see
it's like
right
mid
now.
tier.
There's nothing wrong with this graphics card. My drivers are up to date, and I'm getting below 40 FPS at native resolution at 1440p with frame dips and micro stutters. What are we even
This
talking about
GPU is like
here?
the sweet
How could
spot.
this even be a viable product to sell for $70 that was going to be sold for $80 instead? An actual, literal crime is happening right now in video games, and they're being exposed consistently by indie developers, and I'm all here for it. Anyone who believes a charlatan like Randy Pitchford or any other AAA publisher gets exactly what they deserve. For some reason, this game is completely borked on so many other types of systems. And for some reason, this game did not give actual codes for consoles in the first place.
Yeah,
And
only
you can
did it
bet
for
your sweet
PC.
Peppy, if this PC's having a problem with
Yeah,
this,
they only gave the codes for PCs because they're expecting the game to actually run better on PC. So they automatically knew that the game was going to perform like shit on console, and they expected to fucking stink PC players to be the ones who carried them. But here's the fucking checker. The game ended up even performing even worse on PC. Then he goes out and claimed that there's no way of testing the game on different specs. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing with the beta testers? Like, what? Isn't that why you're paying people to test the beta? So they could test the game that it runs good in different hardwares before you actually decide to make the final launch? Like, dude, what the fuck are you doing up there?
game, you can definitely feel
Change
those
the
consoles have a
leadership.
problem too. And honestly, I can't wait for the actual idiots to be like, my PS5 Pro runs the game just fine. You guys don't know anything about performance or hardware in the first place to talk about with the PS5 Pro
Yo, he shuts them up. So I love this YouTuber.
can and cannot do. Y'all were the same clown saying it was a 4070 Ti. Remember that? Shh. Quiet now. Now you're quiet. Now, quiet. It's
Out
gonna
of the
be
5090,
insane
it still
watching this
performs
game and
ass.
watching so many other games in the gaming industry continually fall down this same pipeline, charge you more money for a worse product, give you more ways of monetizing you, but give you less content overall, and then at the same time complain and bitch like, oh, you're the problem, you're the reason gaming is so bad, you're the real issue. When game developers, publishers, and studios go around and release half-baked, broken, buggy products, and 3 guys in a studio take their time to actually make a good fucking video game in the first place and charge you $20 for it, that outshines the majority of AAA slop today. When
Talking about Silk Song.
30 baguettes in a shack completely just knock down every other RPG maker on the fucking planet besides Larian, then you have a real problem on your hands now, don't you? I can't wait. I cannot wait for the actual day that indie devs start taking over the actual mainstream of what video games are. And we finally go back to the time when games were good, when games were optimized, where games actually had some fucking soul to it. Because the one thing I can tell you about Borderlands 4, there is a zero soul to this fucking game. If you play the first Borderlands and play this one, you can clearly see this one.
I'll be honest, I never thought Borderlands games were fucking good. Everything always felt clunky and bad. The story was kind of ass. I mean, the first one was okay. The second one was a little better, I guess. But they've always been like iffy. That's the thing. But like Tiny Tina's Wonderland, they got the combat so well in that game. It was almost perfect. Like I liked it, but the story was fucking horrible, and they forced you to do all these extra stacks. If you want to choose to do the main quest, that's not an option. You got to do all these extra shit to actually progress to the main story. That's the fucking stupid ass shit. Like I don't even consider this game a fucking RPG. It's like a looter shooter Destiny type of like no. The story always been like it's meh. It's always been like meh. I mean there's yes, I wouldn't even call it funny. I mean, there's some jokes once in a while.
Was run through the actual Fortnitification filter where every character is the exact.
Tiny Tina's Wonderland story was so bad. I like the idea that they're trying to cross over like a looter and shooter with like D&D. It was a cool concept, but the execution was so bad.
Exact same bland fucking design where everybody has the same horrible voice acting. It's just like, just come on, bro. Can we stop already? Can we get some fucking edge in the Borderlands for once? Can you guys fucking do something cool for once? Y'all have the ability to be a first-person Diablo or a first-person Path of Exile. And what you guys choose to do instead is lean into the my arrow into the knee meme. That's what you guys decided to do. You haven't let go of 2005, and it fucking shows. Because the way this game looks, the way this game is designed, the way...
Oh, they're getting Bethesda syndrome. Oh, I was a legend once. Oh, yes, I made Skyrim. Yes, Grandpa. Yes, you did. I mean, I was great once. That's what they're doing.
It's basically just set up for people who don't play video games to go ahead and just be
Just at this point, just make a whole new IP at this point, because you're done.
Mindlessly drooling on themselves while they play. You know, the typical Destiny player.
Start fresh.
Boom! Now, I know some of you might be mad at that joke, but others will be like, yeah, no, he's right. No, he's right, yeah.
Wait, what was the joke?
Boom! Just be mindlessly looks, the way this game is designed, the way this game runs. It's basically just set up for people who don't play video games to go ahead and just be mindlessly drooling on themselves while they play. You know, the typical Destiny player.
Yo, no, he's right about that. You're typical Destiny player, people that don't play real games. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Now, I know some of you might be mad at that joke, but others
that
will be
was
like, yeah, no,
good.
He's right. No, he's right, yeah. No, he's right.
Right.
I'm right. So my consideration to that right now is this. Do not buy Borderlands 4, especially on PC. Consider it a massive skip. The performance is not worth it, the price is not worth it, and it needs massive optimization issues. And at the same time, any game that is using UE5, you should be incredibly wary of, because more than likely it's going to have this kind of performance over.
You know, another game that performs really well after a few patches that they gave, that I didn't think I was ever gonna get fucking good performance, even though that game was really good. Exposition 33, I installed it the other day and ran it, and I was running above 144 FPS. Ultra settings. I was like, holy shit, they optimized, they actually kept their promise. I'm like, see, that's the difference between when you got a studio that's actually passionate about making a game.
Over and over again.
It's a day in life.
Studios start to realize maybe Unreal Engine 5 isn't the way to go. But you know what? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. Are you guys even playing Borderlands? Have you had any concerns or issues while playing it as well?
I already finished it. It was ass. I didn't pay for it though.
This kind of content, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 93,000 subs, and I just want to say thank you guys so very much. If you want Discord access or most during live streams,
yeah. That was a huge failure for a game. Anyway, I'm probably gonna like whatever I gotta call my fiance and stuff. She was calling me earlier. I'll be back later.